It's been a while since I went live. I'm happy to connect with you today. I felt a strong urge to connect with you and share a message about learning. And we're going to talk about online courses and why they do not work if your goal is life skills. There are so many platforms today. There are so many influencers, and every influencer is now a teacher. Everybody sells a course. But I don't really see that people need so many online courses, because we see again and again that online courses do not really work. If you have a desire to learn, that's admirable, that's great, but you probably do not need an online course. You need a life skill. And I'm here to talk about acquiring life skills and what is the difference between acquiring life skills and taking an online course. People think that they're achieving a very clear goal by taking an online course. They want a skill, but they're achieving a very different result instead. People say, I want to speak fluent English. They know what they want. However, they don't necessarily know what they need to get there and why they want what they want. People need life skills. When they buy an online course, they think they're going to get a life skill, because there are so many courses today on how to sell an online course. Marketing is done beautifully. Everybody knows how to sell you a course. When people take an online course, they don't really acquire a skill. They get the knowledge about the skill. When the course is marketed, the promise that people get is that 20 years of experience has been packaged in 6 online lessons just for you. 20 years of my work and life and blood and sweat and tears, they are in these 6 lessons just for you. Buy today, 50% discount, and you're gonna get a skill that took me a lifetime to master, and I'm giving it to you for just $50 and 6 video lessons. This is so not true. This is so far from the truth. You can't buy other people's experience. You can't buy 20 years of somebody's experience for $50 and hope that $50 is gonna be a good replacement for 20 years of practice. It's just impossible. And other people are other people. They're different from you. So this is nonsense. And I'm not really sure why people buy this and why people buy into this idea that they can buy somebody else's experience and apply it immediately after watching a video lesson. Every skill needs to be practiced, and an online course is very attractive because it's finite. You know that there are 6 lessons, or there are, let's say, even if there are 26 lessons, you know that it's a finite number, and once you have watched lesson 26, you're going to be done. So the promise that any online course sells is that by the end of the course, you will have changed your life. You will become a different parent. You will speak beautiful English. You will change your entire career. You will heal, whatever it is. They tell you that they're going to do the work for you, and they say nothing, like zero. They give you zero information about the work that you're supposed to be doing to get the skill that you want. I am often amazed when I look at Instagram profiles or professional bios of some coaches, especially life coaches, who put in their bio a sentence like, I transform people's consciousness in just 1 session. After 1 session with me, you're never going to be the same person. It's like, I can't even understand how they do not understand that it's not professional to say something like this. You can't change anyone. You can't change another human being. And if a person truly changed something about them, it's their work. And you need to give them credit for doing the work. Maybe they hired the right coach at the right time. But they found the coach, they paid the coach, they did the work. So if something happened, it's because a person worked to get it. It's not the magic of the coach. It's usually a partnership where the coach does their work and a student does their work. But you can't say that you transform people's lives or you transform people's consciousness, because it sounds like you're doing the work for the people. And this is actually what so many people want. So many people who are stuck and who are desperate, they buy an online course hoping that the solution is going to be there. What they end up buying is a video library of entertaining video content. Every online course today is professionally done. It's so enjoyable to watch it. Think masterclass. Yeah, masterclass, right? It's probably the best online learning platform where you learn from the best, but it's nothing but a library of entertaining content. Very beautiful, very, very professionally done. But are you really learning anything? You are consuming content. Yes, the speakers are amazing, they have a lot of experience, but you are consuming content. I have never met a person who watched a series of lessons on masterclass, let's say by a famous writer or by Helen Miller, who watched a series of her lessons and became Helen Miller. I have not yet met a person who was able to do that. And now think about a lot smaller Instagram influencers who say you're going to watch my video lessons and your entire life is going to transform. This is such nonsense. This is a complete BS. But it's so tempting to believe that it's true, that watching video lessons can transform your life. Let's talk about developing native-like fluency and communication skills that you need for life. Every time I work with people, I see that people do not really need an online course. They don't really care in what form this knowledge comes. They're looking for better relationships. They know that they can go to that level. They just don't know how. People need life skills. For example, they don't need to speak better English. This is not what they need. What they want is they want to enjoy conversations that flow. This is what they want. They want to have conversations that feel effortless. They want to hang out with people who understand them easily. They know the people that they would want to have such conversations with, but because they're lacking so many skills, they can't have the conversations that they know they want to have. And that is what reminds them again and again that what they know is not enough. And going through present perfect one more time or going through a grammar book one more time is not really going to help. People do not need to learn phonetics. They want to stop hearing this question, huh? What did you say? What did you say? They want to stop hearing that. And every time they talk to people, they don't want to go, I'm sorry, can you please slow down? What did you just say? They just want to stop that. That's what people want. People need better relationships in English. They don't need another speaking club where they speak the way they already can speak, where nothing really changes. They want to develop the ability to express themselves in the most authentic way in the English language. And if they want to build relationships with other people, they need to heal, right? In the context of relationships with more human beings than just their teacher of English. They need to be in relationships with many more people. But what we see is that every influencer or every English teacher or anybody who puts an online course out there, they say, my course is the best. You don't need anyone else. Please do not go to other people's websites. Do not buy other people's stuff. My stuff is the best. So you get everything you need right here. And you only need to be in relationship with me and my content, which is, again, so unprofessional, in my opinion. Because if we want to build relationships with native speakers, we need to be in relationships with many native speakers. We need to learn directly from the source. And our source cannot be an online course that is put together by another non-native speaker, probably. So we can really trust that source 100%, or that is put by a native speaker who doesn't have enough experience, teaching experience, learning experience. They probably do not know everything. They're probably good at something, but they're not good at everything, and they cannot meet all of our needs. It's important that you know how to learn directly from the source so that you don't depend on other people who give you the interpretation of the source. Open YouTube, you're going to be looking at other people's interpretation of the source all day long. Everybody knows how to make correct sentences. Everybody knows the meaning of every idiom and phrasal verb. Everyone is ready to give you as many correct answers as you want. All you need to do is just keep clicking, keep watching, keep scrolling. The problem is that you can't absorb all this knowledge and you can't retain it. That's another big problem with online courses. People consume a lot of video content and they struggle retaining it because people think that learning means memorizing information. So when they can't remember something, they think they're not learning and they think that they fail as learners. You can't memorize every word of the English language. If you want to achieve native-like fluency, you want to master spontaneous conversations, you want to be able to express yourself and sound unscripted, free, clear. You want to be able to express your authentic self. And you never know what you will need to say in the next minute because you never know what a person might give you or what they might ask. So you can't really prepare every word you're going to say. What you can prepare and what you should prepare is yourself. And this is a life skill. There's no online course on that. There's no online course to help you regulate your inner state. There is no online course to help you be okay with yourself. An online course can only give you a very limited number of video lessons. What an online course gives you is primarily information. There's not enough feedback, and to get feedback from the course creator is usually very, very expensive. So what you get is, oh, you got feedback from my team, but you don't buy an online course because you want feedback from their team. You buy an online course because you like this influencer, you admire this teacher, and you actually want to work with them, and you want to learn with them and from them. And then what you get for your money is, oh, sorry, the course does not provide feedback, but my team will be happy to answer your questions. That's not what you want. The best way to learn, and when I say learn, I mean acquire a life skill. If I have really learned something, I can do it. That's my definition of learning. If I completed a number of online courses, it doesn't mean that I learned anything. And online courses, you know, the marketing is beautiful. What's inside is usually so not enough. To learn from people, you need to spend enough quality time with people. That's it. There is no other way. Which means the first skill that you want is the skill of discernment. You want to be able to filter out the information that is useless for you, especially the information that is harmful for you. You don't want to consume the information that's hurting you. Let me give you an example. What I see with a lot of influencers and people who create beautiful videos to sell their online courses is that they want to tell you a step-by-step, instruction on how to do certain things. This is what people click on, so they give you more of it. How to do this, how to do that, the right way to spend your morning, the right way to eat, the right time to go to bed. They give you correct answers, which makes you think that maybe the answers that you're hearing in here are not really correct. So every time you hear an influencer say, I'm making this much money, which means I'm better than you, right? I live this lifestyle, I'm making this much money, so please listen to me. I say that you need to do this. And you start doubting yourself. And the more we listen to such advice, the more we disengage and disconnect from our inner knowing, from our inner voice, from our intuition, because so many experts, so many smart, intelligent, successful people are telling us that we're doing something wrong because they're doing it differently. But if they're doing it differently, it doesn't really mean that you are doing it wrong. They're just doing it differently because they're different people. And if you want to learn from people, choose the people who bring out the best in you, who help you unfold your potential. What I see is happening with online courses is that every online course creator wants people to become followers. That's actually it. That's it. They don't really want to give people knowledge. They want more following. They want people to say, oh, I took this online course and it was the best. Oh, this teacher is the best. The more time we spend connecting with ourselves instead of studying other people's lives, the better we get as learners. We need, in order to learn a skill, we need the right practice. What does it mean? It means we need to practice a skill on a daily basis, because watching videos about the skill is not going to get you there. And I think that's obvious and logical, but so few people actually get it. You need to engage in practice, and the kind of practice that will take you to the next level of mastering the skill. And this practice must be modeled by someone who has the skill. And this is something that, again, you don't really see in online courses. When I say that practice must be modeled, it doesn't mean that you see somebody perform at their best online. Open YouTube, again, you're gonna see so many athletes perform at a top level, but it's not modeling. You can see them perform and you go, wow, I wanna learn that as well. But when you see them perform, it's not the same as spending time with somebody who has the patience and the methodology to model the skill for you. What is modeling? Somebody who can model the skill can show you how to go from where you are, meaning your level of competence today, to where you need to be through a series of iterations. They understand you and they help you understand you even better through the practice. I always say, do not watch them perform. Watch them practice. I even started a Telegram channel where I post clips from our sessions so you can see how people practice, not how they perform at their best. When you see a performance, it's something that has been rehearsed many times. When you see somebody speak in public in a foreign language, somebody's given a talk, you go like, wow, their English is so good. What you do not see is that they probably rehearsed this speech 25 times or even more. You do not see all the editors and all the teachers who are behind this process, who help them write and edit their speech. You don't see the voice coaches. You don't see hours spent rehearsing. You think that they're just naturally so free in their self-expression and that their English is just naturally so good. What you're watching is a performance. And they're delivering a prepared speech. What I teach is very different. I teach spontaneous speaking skills. This is hard. This is so hard. And you can't really disconnect your spontaneous speaking skills from your personality. You can't. It's the same thing. That's why to acquire a life skill, you need to understand more about yourself, how you function, how you learn, what you actually want, and what you need in the learning process. As I said, people don't need English courses. They want to enjoy conversations that flow. They want to engage with people that they know, but they can't have engaging conversations with them yet. People don't need lessons on grammar. People don't need these courses that say, I will take you from intermediate to advanced, because these courses will introduce you to a series of tasks that are good for someone who's preparing for an exam. That's it. These courses will take you from Unit 1 to Unit 25, and you will have to follow that curriculum, which probably has nothing to do with you and your personal struggles. Learning must be personal. If you want to take an online course because you need a certificate that you can put in your resume, go do that. If you need a life skill, the only way to learn is to spend enough time with somebody you actually want to learn from. If you want to learn a new skill, spend enough time with somebody who has the skill and somebody who has the patience to spend this time with you, to give you feedback, to give you caring feedback, and somebody who will help you understand you a little bit better or a lot better. And it's not just on them. When you take an online course, everything looks so easy. You pay the money, they give you the content. The exchange is done. When you choose to practice, you don't really know how long it's going to take. You know how long the online course is going to take. You don't really know how long the practice will take, because you decide if you practice every day or every other day or every week. You decide what you do on days when you don't feel like practicing. You decide who you want to spend your time with. You decide if you have actually found that person or if you haven't found that person that you want to learn from. You have to take the agency. A lot depends on you as well, and you need to do your part of the work. Usually people run away from work, from this type of work. And people run away from their mistakes. It's very painful to look at mistakes, but it's necessary. The learning cycle is very simple. When you practice a new skill, you do something, you make a lot of mistakes, you receive feedback on your mistakes, you implement the feedback, you do the thing again, it doesn't work again, you iterate, and you do it again. You do it, you receive feedback, you do it again. She wants to learn too, right? And people are so reluctant to do their practice and to do the same thing one more time. We live in a culture where there's so much more that we haven't seen or watched or done yet. There's so much more content to consume. A lifetime is not enough to consume all of that. And we feel that, or at least this is what I see, people feel that doing something again means taking a step back. While in reality, doing something again is a huge step forward, because now you can do it again better. Now you have learned from your mistakes, and the next iteration is going to be so much better. And you can't learn this from an online course. You learn it from a person, from somebody who has experience mastering the skill. Not somebody who says they know the skill, not somebody who's on the cover of the online course, not somebody who's on the web page, but somebody who actually knows what they're doing and who can do it, not just talk about it. We have a really bad relationship with failure as learners. That's why we're so slow. We think that an online course is faster, but no online course that I know of has any room, even a small room, even a little bit, for correcting people's mistakes. If you discovered your mistakes in an online course, good for you. Here are your mistakes. Let's say you did a test, you received, somebody graded you, and you know your mistakes, but there is nothing to help you fix those mistakes, because you can fix them only with feedback. Another big part of why online courses are so popular is that people get excited and inspired and motivated by becoming a little bit closer to people they admire, like somebody they see on social media. Now they can buy their online course and get to be in their community. That's very exciting and inspiring. But learning must not be purely inspirational. This is not the goal. And learning must not be just something you endure and something that you do for a long time hoping to get a better result. This is not what learning is supposed to be about. People in your community, especially people you learn with together, they're supposed to inspire you, but the most important thing that must be happening is that you acquire a life skill and you get results. If you're inspired all the time and you're not creating any results, you're going to be exhausted pretty soon. This is why a lot of online courses are finite and they end on a certain day, and it doesn't matter if you already got the skill or didn't get the skill. Usually people get a lot of inspiration, motivation, they get inflated with other people's energy and motivation, and the only thing that stays after an online course is a lot of emotions and a lot of memories. And that's it. What I vote for is that it's not about memories or emotions only, it's about a life skill. Meaning you can do it. If you need to go and speak at a conference, You can go and speak. You need a couple days to prepare and you're good to go. If you have been learning to cook, let's say, and if you have acquired a skill, you can go and cook the thing that you know how to cook now. If you need to create content in English, you just sit down and create it. If you need to be spontaneous or jump on a phone call, you just start Zoom and you start a meeting. That's it, because you can do it. And in reality, no online course is ever enough. You will never be satisfied with one online course or many online courses, because they're put together by different people who are not you and who are not helping you understand you. The only thing that helps is regular practice. You need other people. I'm not saying that you do not need other people. You need other people. Other people inspire you, but you need the people who help you direct your own thought process. It's almost a physical process, something that I experience in my body. You know, when I'm with the right people, they help me direct my own thought process. I come up with more ideas that are mine just by being around them. I don't need to do what they do exactly the same way. I don't need to teach what they teach. I don't need to copy their message. But by being around them, I come up with my ideas. And I experience a lot of aha moments just by being around these people. So look for people like this. They can be online, they can be in your immediate environment, they can be authors of the books that are worth reading and rereading again. Why not? But if you try to learn as much as you can from all the YouTube nonsense and you watch YouTube and Netflix nonstop, you're not learning from anyone and you're not respecting your inner knowing enough. You're just creating a lot of noise. Consuming information is not learning. And accumulating knowledge is not learning. Accumulating knowledge is not enough. We need to implement the knowledge so that we can say, I can do this. I have created that change. Just like understanding is not enough. You know, so many people say, you know, when I watch English movies or when I listen to songs or when I listen to people, I understand everything. The problem is that I cannot communicate what I understand. And that's a real problem. So if you have learned the art of spontaneous conversations, or if you have really improved your listening skills, you can explain what you mean. You can hear every single word that people said, and you can actually repeat what they said. And your conversations become so much more enjoyable because people know that you've been listening. They know because you can actually repeat what they said. If you think you understand, but you can't say what you understand, you haven't learned the skill yet. And probably you're not doing the practice. You're waiting for the next online course. An online course can give you information. And when you practice, usually it's a two-step process. If you're practicing something new, something you have never done before, and something you don't really know how to do, a big chunk of time is spent understanding how to do that thing. For example, you can't pronounce a specific sound. Like a specific vowel is really hard for you to produce. Usually you spend the first week just trying to feel it in your mouth. Where is it? Where does my tongue need to be? Where do my lips need to be? You spend a big chunk of time, depending on the skill you're learning, just trying to figure it out. Like, how do I make it happen? What needs to happen in my mouth, in my body? Where does my mind need to be for this to happen? So you're trying to find the right place for this to happen. And the second part of your practice is once you have found that place, once you have found that mouth position, or once you have found that thought or that mindset, is implementing it and practicing it in different conditions. Because if you learn something, let's say if you think you learned something, you understood something, and you can apply it only when it's quiet and nobody is interrupting you, it's not enough, right? If you can speak beautiful English in your head, it doesn't mean you can speak beautiful English when you're around other people. If you can speak confident English only to your teacher, but as soon as your boyfriend's mother comes in, you can't say a word, or when you have to speak up in meetings, you can't, you haven't really mastered the skill. You want to make sure that you practice something that you have learned in very, very different environments, in different conditions. That's why when we do the ladder exercise, for example, somebody who's familiar with the work we're doing with Alex, with our accent coach in the community of practice, we make sure that we practice this vowel or this diphthong or any sound in different sentences, with different intonations, in different circumstances, with different people, because this means you can do it. Not if, I can do it if, no, you can do it. Period. You can do it. You simply can. This requires a lot of practice. It's usually hard to practice like this alone. You need other people. And it doesn't mean you need to do it together with them in real time. You do need to do that sometimes. And some people need this more than others. But you need very careful guidance. You need people who know what they're talking about. You need people who are competent and who have the skill. And you need people who can give you feedback. You also need people who are practicing the same skill that you are practicing, so that you can ask for help, so that you feel you're not alone, and so that you're okay with the idea that it's going to take time. And you're not alone in this. Practicing a life skill, to be honest, takes a lifetime. But the further you go, the more you practice, the more you understand what practice really means. I hope this was useful. Let me know what you think. When you learn anything, or you're choosing what it is that you want to learn, choose a life skill and not a video content. Because we have enough of it. You don't really need to pay for it. We have enough of it everywhere. We need the skill to discern, to choose, and to master the skills.